Jim, I want to know, what did you think of this classic exploitation film?
It was a fine movie. It was a little slow and boring throughout most of it.
Well, what do you want? Michael Bay to direct a softcore sex film? I mean, what do you want?
Yeah, I want Transformers in it.
I'm just thinking of that scene from one of the Transformers movies with the little robot humping the guy's leg.
But no, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of sexploitation movies, which I think is fair.
Oh, I mean, it's not a genre that wins a lot of Oscars. I mean,
No. I think the first time we spoke about this, I was kind of confused, but after kind of stewing on it for a while, I have a firmer grasp on the themes of this movie.
Very firm grasp.
Yeah, my major gripe about it is that it's just kind of a slow and it's a sexploitation, But the best part of this movie is obviously Laura Gemser and
gorgeous woman. We didn't. I mean, maybe it's to be assumed, but absolutely gorgeous. Nothing against Sylvia Christel, but more attractive than Sylvia Christel.
Yeah,
at least to me, more my type. Maybe, I don't know.
I also love the theme song, which is probably my favorite part of the movie. Black Emanuelle.
Well, yeah, the theme song's great. I actually just in general like the score too.
Yeah, it's a good score. It's all kind of like it's got like hangout vibes, It's got like easygoing, easy breezy, vacationy. I'm trying to like it's got smooth sailing, vibes. There used to be a radio
Jimmy
station.
Buffett do the score.
He literally could have. That type of music. It's just super smooth, super relaxing, easygoing. I guess much like Emanuelle, sort of. But Patrick.
Well, you say easygoing. I mean, Emanuelle is a woman of passion.
Yeah, she's go with the flow. Her passion is fiery hot and explosive. What did you think? Give me your thoughts on this fantastic Black Emanuelle movie.
Well, you say, if your number one complaint against this movie is this sexploitation movie, and it's just not a genre for you, I get that because I can't really.
Yeah, that is my number one complaint, really. Like, I'm not judging it really because I don't. Sexploitations are so out of my wheelhouse that I just, like the acting's fine, the character development is fine. I like the setting. At the end of the day, I just find it a little boring and kind of a little cringy, but that's just me.
Okay. So we've got cringy into the mix now. So we're really, we're talking genuinely great film criticism here from Jim.
Thank you. Write it down.
This is Ben Shapiro reviewing movies now.
How so very dare you compare me to him? How so very dare you?
Okay, so I get that if that's like your complaint. It's just like this isn't the movie for you. Because it's not generally the movie for me. The reason Black Emanuelle ever even interested me in the first place is the history of it. The fact that there can just be a series of dozens of films that are ripping off this like French softcore sex film, and it's like, oh, this is fascinating to me. And then you actually dig deeper and it's like, oh, it's Bruno Mattei and Joe D'Amato, like two of the most fascinating exploitation filmmakers ever. And it's like, okay, you got Laura Gemser through the entire thing. Just make these movies with their husband. There's like a lot more interesting things as you dig deeper into the series. But yeah, I mean, like Emanuelle, the original Emanuelle, that never even interested me until I learned about Black Emanuelle, because it's like, what? There was this thing, and it was like, there's Emanuelle exploitation? Like, what? Like, that stuff is just fascinating to me. I love the history of exploitation movies and what people can capitalize on at various points in time in film history of like, yeah, we've got a good 10 years here where we can make Bruceploitation movies.
Well, you know what? They could make Emanuelle exploitation movies forever because you know what, man? Sex sells and it will always sell.
Yes, but at a certain point, I think the Emanuelle name lost its luster. Maybe it was when Monique Gabrielle stepped in. I don't know, but at any rate,
is that like around like Seinfeld era where they're making fun of Rochelle?
Back to my original point, like I do think this movie is really, really close to being like a genuinely profound drama. And if you will, if we can compare it to the original Emanuelle a bit, which we have covered on this podcast, and it's also for some reason our like most popular YouTube video, even though people usually only watch 10 seconds of it, so I don't know how that works. It's just like by the way, this episode is going to do great on YouTube because there's people all over those Emanuelle searches on YouTube apparently. So
well, that's got to be it, right? Like they watch the first 10 seconds, realize we're not showing any footage, and then they
maybe, who knows? But yeah, I'm sorry you clicked on a YouTube video expecting to see sex. Like there's other websites for that, buddy. But yeah, so the original Emanuelle attempted to capture genuine, profound drama. Didn't really work for me because I really felt that movie was just like, okay, Emanuelle, you have sex a lot. So you need to learn to fully give into sex, and only then, once you have sex with this like kickboxer dude, can you truly become a sexual being. And it's like, oh yeah, but wasn't she already like in the opening scene even? Like I don't know. I didn't get it. It didn't work for me in the original Emanuelle. I'm not saying it fully works here in Black Emanuelle, but it comes closer. I feel like I understand the Black Emanuelle character more. And maybe some of that's the Laura Gemser performance. I don't really know. But I feel... I do think the filmmaking's part of it. Because I think that last scene at the train stop is like almost powerful. Almost.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I agree. That ending is, I think, very important to the movie. It raises a lot of questions. I guess you could say it elevates the movie as a whole in that, that last 5-minute ending or whatever. But
yeah, but I mean, it really makes the whole movie come together, though. That this is a movie...
it does, yeah. Like it ties it up with a nice little bow.
Yeah, this is a movie that is about this free human being, Black Emanuelle. Again, that's not her name, Emanuelle, with one M, who is the object of every person's affection, and no person can truly have her because they can't connect with her because they don't want the same things as her. Now, what does she want? She wants sex, obviously, but she wants sex as almost like a spiritual experience, I think. And the others just want sex to get their rocks off. I think that's kind of part of it. I think Gianni is this jealous
playboy.
And now you might say, okay, well, doesn't Emanuelle get jealous when she hears about Gloria? And maybe she does in that scene, but maybe she's just teaching him a lesson, too.
And it's odd because, again, from my perspective, up to this point in the movie that she overhears this phone call between him and Gloria, she is kind of pining after Gianni the whole movie. Sort of. Well, not really. Like, she's fucking Richard and stuff. But she does seem to genuinely feel bad by the way she's treating him, or she keeps on getting caught out, And it does seem like she has genuine feelings for him, but as soon as she overhears that phone call, it's gone. Like, it's all done. And she immediately leaves and goes and
yes,
fucks
because
that
I think
dude.
I think she realizes that these feelings that he has for her are not unique. These are the same feelings that he supposedly had for this other woman.
Exactly, but that wouldn't make her feelings any less. But at the end of the movie,
I don't think she has feelings though about for him in that way.
She has enough feeling that it makes her jealous enough to run out of the house and immediately fuck the first person she sees. And then stare him down, eye to eye, and yell at this black guy on top of her, yes, fuck me harder. I think she's hurt.
Sure.
And I think it's kind of interesting because the end of the movie she says, oh, I am this free spirit and I don't want anything serious.
I think that scene is the scene where it doesn't really work. I think the rest of the movie kind of is about how Gianni wants her in a very specific way that she does not want him.
Yeah, and then you have to wonder, does she...
He's a distraction to her, just as Richard is. Maybe she has these same interactions with Richard, we just don't see them.
Maybe, I guess you're right. Because the way that it's shown, again, she does seem to have genuine feelings for him, and then she cuts it off. She goes, nope, not anymore, I'm over it.
Well, but she still gives him a chance after that, though, at the nature preserve and stuff.
Yeah, but by that point, it's almost like she's like sabotaging their possible relationship or whatever it is, because she's...
Except it's
banging
really...
a tribe.
Yeah, but it's also Gianni sabotaging his own relationship with his wife, too.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. And I don't know. I guess that's where, for me, it's just hard for me to get my head around when that change took place, if Emanuelle always felt that way, and we as the audience were kind of duped, or at least I was, while watching it.
Yeah, I think this movie really works, and the Black Emanuelle character really works, except for that hitchhiking scene, really. And I know we mentioned kind of the tribal scene, a little kind of weird too, but I think we can explain that, is that her "that wasn't me" stuff is all about how she doesn't need drugs to do what she does, because she's going to do that anyways. She doesn't need drugs to sacrifice herself to love or something like that. I could sacrifice myself to love with you if you're worthy, but you keep screwing up. You're not worthy.
And now are you talking specifically to me, or are you doing like
both? And now you're screwing up even more because you're throwing your marriage away to just chase me when I was always only going to be here for 2 weeks. Like, what are you doing, dude? I'm a photojournalist who came here to film a few ruins, and yeah, I shot some naked photos of your wife. Like, but that's it. I'm leaving. I was never going to be here.
Yeah,
I was never going to be here long term.
And I guess like I don't remember much of the actual real original Emanuelle, but I feel like she wasn't like as sex crazy. Like I feel like when she got to, where was it, Thailand or wherever she was going to,
where the entire film takes place. Yeah.
Well, because she left from Paris, right, and went to Thailand.
Yeah, she's on a plane in like the opening scene. Yeah, so they both open on planes, I guess.
Well, yeah. So I mean, because when she gets there, she's kind of introduced to all this like sex stuff, right? She's not overtly sexual.
She has sex on a plane in the opening scene.
Never mind then. Okay, so never mind.
And that was my complaint of the original Emanuelle. It's like, okay, you need to be a more sexual being. It's like, she just fucked a guy anonymously on her plane here. Like, what was, that didn't really work. Like I said, this works a little better for me. It's not perfect, and again, that's why I don't think Black Emanuelle is a great movie. I'm not even sure it's a good movie. I think it's an interesting movie, and I think it's really, really close to being like a profound movie. It's almost there. And
I agree. I think it's an interesting movie. It's a very interesting movie.
Well, sure. Any rip-off film, I'm just interested in that kind of stuff, because it's like, okay, where did this come from? And then you need to know the history of the actual thing, which we know a little bit about because we've seen that movie and we've covered it in the podcast. But then it's like the ripoff takes on a life of its own that becomes so fascinating and so different from this movie. Like, most Black Emanuelle movies are not like this. They're quite weirder and more out there even.
I know we haven't been understating this, because this is all we've really been talking about for like the last 15 minutes. But that ending and all the questions that it raises, like, it is so...
The ending's great.
Like, it's fantastic. And it even, as an audience member, it makes you... I mean, it made me kind of question my own...
erection
thoughts. Yeah. I was like, oh, why are you here? But it made me question my own thoughts on love and sex and whatever. And then I was comparing like relationships that I've had in the past. I think there's something so deep and profound in that last scene that really is interesting. And for me, it's just kind of a shame that it comes at the end of this semi-boring sexploitation with some neat animal shots in the middle and a great theme song.
Yeah, and again, that's just as for the animal shots, and so that's just what they do. We'll make it a travelogue. Yeah. That's just what they do. It could be worse. It could be a Mondo film where it's like, hey, look at these weird Asian people or weird African people. Look what they're doing. Isn't that weird?